So last year when we started the livestock part, the livestock farming part of our farm, of course we started with chicken farming. That was 2 years ago. But last year we brought sheep. And of course we talked about how to, make money with sheep farming. Now one other thing that we had not discussed that time is goats. And I remember that time I told you that goats were actually more expensive compared to sheep when you're starting out, and that is why we didn't start with goat farming. But right now I actually thought it wise to start slowly and progressively when it comes to goats. And since we are in an arid area, semi-arid area, we are actually considering going large when it comes to Galla goat farming. So one thing about Galla goats that we'll be talking about today is that they're actually adaptable to this particular environment. Of course, don't look at it this way right now because it's a rainy season and almost everything is green, but most parts of the year are actually dry. So the best type of goat that adapts to this environment is Galla goats. This is Africa Farming. My name is Samuel, and of course this channel is for new generation farmers and new entrants in farming who are willing to learn new farming practices. Take a second or two to subscribe, hit on the notification bell so YouTube can always notify you whenever we have a new video uploaded and released. And to our subscribers, asanteni sana for always coming back to watch our videos and leaving 1 or 2 comments here and there and sharing with your friends, because it is only through that we keep growing. Right now we are actually at around 5,000 subscribers, and our milestone in the next 3 months is to get to 10,000 subscribers. So if you're new, help us get to that milestone. So as you can see on my side, I have a goat, and this is a mix of Galla goat and something else, because you can see it has some spots and all brown spots. Galla goats are usually white in color, purely white, and I don't know if you are able to see this other one. That one is a pure Galla goat. So I actually bought around 5 of them. Currently we have around 5 goats in the farm just for trials. And based on basically what we've seen, it is worth to actually say that we can now go ahead and practice Galla goat farming for these simple reasons. Number one, they actually grow very fast. Some of these goats I actually bought I think a month ago, and they were so small. For those people who've been watching our videos, you'll actually see that day that we went to buy. They were actually small, and right now when I just came to the farm recently after staying for a while, and I've actually found that they've grown so fast and they grow so tall and they gain a lot of weight with the minimal pasture that we have at the farm. So that is one thing that I'm considering, and that is why I'm actually going for the Galla goats. Secondly, I've been told by those farmers who are actually keeping them around that they can actually attain live weight, that is live weight of around 45 to 55 kgs for female goats and 60 to around 70 kgs for the male ones. So that is good weight, especially if you're considering commercial goat farming. Another thing is that you can actually even milk the female ones. So one of the things that we are also considering, because I'm not started keeping cows, is milk production. We need to start at least, having milk at the farm. Of course, sheep can also do the milk, but now not as much as goats. Most people don't prefer milking sheep. But for goats, especially these Galla goats, I hear that the female ones produce a lot of milk. A case in point, somebody told me around 1 liter a day. So I'm yet to actually, experience that, but very soon I think we will. But considering that as a factor, because we don't have cows, then that is one of the reasons why I prefer keeping Galla goats, because it's low maintenance and still they give us milk apart from just the meat. Something worth trying. Another thing that I need to talk about when it comes to goat farming, of course most people will talk about raised sheep pens and all that, but for me personally who's starting out, I need to also consider my environment. Of course, I'm not saying what other people are saying is wrong or bad. It just depends on the environment you're in. One thing that I noticed is last year when I was doing sheep farming, I considered so much about what other people are doing who are not in this area. So we ended up making a mistake, especially in the sheep pen, building a sheep pen based on somebody else's idea and their environment and basically their ecosystem. But now here in Kajiado, we coexist with live with wild animals. So when you're constructing your sheep pen, you also need to consider that. Same thing to the goats. So where I am right now, because I'm starting out, I've actually mixed the sheep and the goats because they're not that many. And where they are, they're actually enclosed in a mabati structure. So if you have mabati structure, perfect, you can start there. If you have boughs or timber, for those people who don't know Swahili, mabati is iron sheets. And for those who've watched our sheep pen, the new sheep pen that we've constructed after the episode, or the event that we had where we were attacked by wild animals, we constructed a fully closed sheep pen. And I know most people will talk about too much ammonia and all that, but I have a farm guy called Jackton. Most people have seen him. He actually cleans the house almost daily just to prevent that accumulation of ammonia that might actually affect the sheep. Secondly, where I'm at, apart from just the wild animals, where the farm is has a lot of wind. And one of the things that these sheep always are affected with is too much wind that actually can bring even what we call pneumonia. So one of the factors that we are considering when it comes to housing is something that also prevents or breaks that wind. And in our case, the iron sheets will actually do perfectly well. So as I'm starting out as a small farmer, if you're a small farmer, I'm not talking about the big commercial ones. If you're a small farmer, start small. So in our case, we find that our sheep pen, however small and however closed and however much most people might not recommend, will actually be perfect for us. So one other reason as to why we are preferring Galla goats, of course, most goats will actually have the same when it comes to this. The gestation period is around 5 months. So if you can see the goat that is behind me on my left side, I don't know if it can be seen, that goat is actually pregnant. And I think it's 2 months per year. So in the next 3 months, you should expect it to, sire a kid. So Galla goats take around 5 months to sire, compared to the local breeds that take longer. So that is also a factor that we are considering when you're keeping Galla goats. Another thing is some of the maintenance, basically. One of the things that actually interested me or attracted me to Galla goats is that their maintenance is low when it comes to vaccination and deworming. So for vaccination, I think you guys saw when I brought the goats here, we vaccinated just at the back of my truck, and that was it. For the next 6 months, I'll not be able to even do any sort of vaccination. Deworming, I think it will just be dependent on the climatic conditions, when the weather changes and all that, based on what they are eating. So right now it's green. Of course, when the weather changes, because of parasitic infections, we'll keep deworming. But one thing that I also advise people when you're starting out is don't use the same dewormer all the time, because now the worms will actually get used to a certain type of the dewormer that you use. So keep changing. So in terms of business, because of course we are doing goat farming for business, Galla goats, of course around here people sell goats based on the live weight. So you can actually fetch as much as 15,000 for a Galla goat that you've actually reared in the farm based on their weight, right? 15 to 18,000 for a male goat that is actually, that you've actually taken good care of and has actually built good weight, good live weight. And when you're buying them at the farm, you can actually buy them for as low as 6,000 or 7,000, between 6 to 7,000. And that is, I bought mine during the high season when it was a holiday. So sometimes the price can actually even go lower. So you can see the profit margins within, for example, 6 months, because they take a shorter time to build that weight. So from a business point of view, having that profit for one goat, and especially here now that I have pasture, for me it will actually make business sense, right? Because the low maintenance and actually how they gain weight and all that, it will make business sense for me to keep them, let them feed them, and let them build the weight. That is it. Then I sell. So from a business point of view, it ticks. So basically my plan I was sharing this with a friend of mine. When you're starting out, don't start by buying a lot. just start with 1, 2, 3, 4, and have a plan of, especially if you have a farm and a big place to keep them, have a plan of buying at least 1 or 2 every month. So that is my plan this year, because goats were not part of my plan this year. I was to increase the number of sheep, but now I'm considering buying a goat, at least a female goat basically, because I have male goats here. So I'll be buying at least 1 female goat per month, 1 female Galla goat per month for the next, because right now it's April, for the next like 8 months, so that by December we have at least around 15 goats in total. Then I will stop buying and I will let them now multiply. So that is the plan for me, and the business part of it is not actually being considered right now. We'll actually be talking about that next year. So hopefully next year we'll have a sit down and just discuss the experience that I've had. If at all it is based on what I've heard from other farmers, or it's different, I'll be able to share with you at that particular point in time. But right now, as we speak, for me, it actually makes business sense and it's worth trying. So I'll be doing goat farming plus sheep farming. I will not incur costs of building, I don't know, fancy sheep pen or goat pen, the raised ones that people are talking about, because of the reasons that I've given you. So that is it for us today when it comes to Galla goats. For those who are considering, starting out, start small while thinking big. Start with 1, 2, 3, 4. At least have a male and 3 females. Start there and let's proceed. Pole, 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 pole as we grow. And trust you me, in like 12 months, you'll actually see a difference. So start where you are. That is the spirit that I want to implement here at the farm. So that's it for us today. As I've said, we will compare notes in the next 1 year and see where we are. And I'll share with you the experiences. So stay woke, stay peaceful, and always remember to changamka na ukulima, and Galla Goat Farming is the way to go for people in semi-arid areas. Bye-bye.